Here's the real reason that you keep losing momentum, because here's something that nobody else you're going to hear say in this self-improvement guru world that we live in now. Because momentum doesn't just collapse when life gets hard, it collapses when life gets comfortable. That's the counterintuitive part of it we don't think of, because people think that discipline disappears when life starts to get stressful, because work gets busy, because life gets chaotic. But when I look back at the times in my life where I really drifted, where my standards dropped, where I started to let myself go, where I started acting like my lowest version of myself, where I lost momentum, it wasn't even during the hardest chapters. It was during the comfortable ones. And that's a strange thing to actually admit, but it makes sense when I break it down, so stay with me, because we love telling ourselves stories about adversity. We love saying how life knocked us down. But if I'm being brutally honest, a lot of the times that I drifted, life hadn't knocked me down at all. I just slowly stopped pushing myself. The gym sessions got less intense. I didn't have that fire in my belly. The mornings got later, I just scrolled, I hit snooze, and I kept getting up later, and my focus became scattered. The mission became reactive, and nothing dramatic even happened. There wasn't a collapse. There wasn't some huge crisis. It was much more quiet and much more subtle than that. Standards had just drifted, and drifting is far more dangerous than failure, because failure shocks you awake. Drifting numbs you slowly and breaks you down, and you stop noticing the changes. You stop questioning your habits, and you stop demanding more from yourself. Trust me, I've lived it. Until eventually you wake up one day like I did and just realise something feels off. You're still busy, you're still working, you're still doing things, but the edge is gone, the clarity's gone. You just feel stressed, overwhelmed and anxious all the time. Momentum completely gone. And that's when most people start asking the wrong question. They start saying, how can I get my motivation back? But motivation was never the real issue. Motivation's like a sugar rush, it comes and it goes. Alignment is the problem, because when your life is aligned, momentum doesn't depend on motivation anymore. It depends on structure. And structure holds even when your emotions don't. So let me give you a bit of a vulnerable example. Because there was times in my life where things were moving forward on the surface. Business opportunities were coming in. I had boxing title fights coming up. People were noticing that I was putting in the work, because our life looked good from the outside looking in, but internally something felt off, and that's where it really matters. My sleep had slipped and it was still slipping. My mind was constantly noisy, and my training wasn't even as sharp as it could have been, should have been. And that's when I realised something uncomfortable, that success can create misalignment just as easily as failure. Because when things start going well, you relax your standards, you let yourself ease off. You allow more distractions to slip in, and you protect your discipline less. And suddenly your life starts drifting. Body starts slipping, mind becomes noisy, and your work starts to become reactive. That's the three pillars slowly separating: body, being and business. And when those three pillars drift apart, life starts feeling heavy. Not physically, internally. Everything feels harder than it should. Simple decisions feel exhausting. Momentum disappears. And the strange part is this. From the outside, looking in, everything still looks fine. This is why misalignment is so dangerous, because it hides behind success. People see the results in your life, but they don't see that internal drift. And if you don't catch that drift early on, you'll eventually start to lose the very thing that built the level of success that you're experiencing in your life in the first place. And that's your standards, your daily habits, your actions. But alignment fixes that, because alignment creates anchors in your life, anchors that hold even when life changes, good days, bad days, anchors that stabilise you when your momentum starts slipping. Because body is the first pillar: training, movement, physical discipline. This isn't about aesthetics, it's about structure and feeling in charge. Training reminds you of who you are. It sharpens your discipline and it stabilises your energy, even on the days where your mind feels scattered. Then there's the being pillar. This is the second B, body and being. This is the one that most men completely ignore. So let me see if I can make you understand it. Silence, reflection, calm space away from all the noise, and the ability to sit with your own thoughts. When this pillar disappears, your mind becomes reactive, because you're constantly responding to the world instead of directing your life. Your phone controls your attention, your schedules control your energy, and your environment controls your focus. But when the being pillar exists, your mind calms itself down again. You can see things clearly. You make better decisions and you stop reacting emotionally to every single small challenge that life throws at you. Which leads me on to the third B, which is the business pillar. Creation, contribution, progress, income generation, moving the mission forward intentionally. Not just reactive work, not just answering emails and putting out fires all day, but actually building something meaningful. Because when those three pillars exist together, something powerful happens. The momentum stabilizes. Life still fluctuates, but the structure that holds it all together stays in place, which means you can recover quickly, which means you start drifting less, which means you notice misalignment a lot sooner. And that's the real advantage, because alignment doesn't just make life easier, it makes life stable. So when things start drifting, you feel it immediately. You feel it in your body, you feel it in your mind, you feel it in your work. And because you feel it early, you can actually catch it and bring yourself back and correct it before too much damage is done, before days turn into weeks, turn into months, and then months eventually turn into years, and those years turn into a full decade of wasted potential. Most men never develop that awareness. They just drift quietly, and years go by, and the man they once wanted to become slowly disappears. Not because they failed, but because they drifted. And alignment stops that across the three B's: body, being, and business. Three pillars, three anchors, three structures that keep your life moving forward, not perfectly, but consistently. And consistency is the only thing that can truly compound. Because the man who stays aligned, even when it's not perfect, but he does it for days, months, weeks, years, will outgrow the man who relies on motivation every time. That's the real game, not intensity, not bursts of effort, but structure that holds. So if this video is resonating with you, which it must be doing because you've got this far into it, it probably means that you've felt that drift before, or you're feeling it right now. That quiet loss of momentum, the subtle drop in standards, the feeling that something inside your life isn't aligned anymore. And do you want to know what the good news is? That awareness that you can feel is the first step, because once you recognise the misalignment, you can rebuild your structure, body, being, and business. Three pillars, three anchors, and once those anchors are locked in, momentum stops depending on how you feel. Good days, bad days, it doesn't matter, the momentum's still moving forward, and it starts depending on who you decided to become. So if this video hit a nerve, click the link in the description and get your free copy of the Alignment Blueprint. It's the free system that I use with all my private clients that will help you align yourself across those three pillars. And once they are, you'll stop drifting through life and start moving through it with intention. So I'll see you in the next video, but don't bother clicking on the next video if you're not going to download the Alignment Blueprint, the proven system that will change your life and get you aligned. Let's fucking have it.